Bum 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 bum. The Peter Light Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, today is day 5 of my pilgrimage to Taiwan, and I'm seriously thinking about making this my forever move to Taiwan. Um, but something happened yesterday that really highlighted cultural differences. See, we don't drive very much here in Taiwan. Very few people own cars. There's really good public transportation. And I noticed that it had a consequence with how I handled my social life here. Back home in Phoenix, I don't drink, but the fact that I have to drive home weighs heavily on my social outings, right? I can't wait until I'm completely exhausted to even think about coming home, right? And so it forces constraint to our social lives, right? The other reason you don't want to wait until you're completely exhausted to try to leave a social outing is that over in Phoenix, or in the United States, you can't just sit down in public to take a break, right? People will harass you, right? Here in Taiwan, it doesn't seem like a big deal. People sit on park benches to rest before heading back all the time, right? People fall asleep on the buses all the time. It's not a big deal, right? We're more communal in that regard, right? Good luck trying to do that back home in Phoenix, right? Um, I've let's just put it this way. It puts a big constraint on how you manage your social life. Here, things are more communal. It's one big family. We take care of each other, right? Even people who are from different backgrounds. So I was at a board game meetup yesterday. We had people from Europe. We had people from South America. Even then, it was very communal how we handled some of these things. Good luck. Now here's the thing. You would think that because nobody has to drive home from a social outing, you would think that alcohol use would be through the roof. Not really, because people, I think, aren't pressured to drink as much here in Taiwan compared to the United States. See, over in the U.S., people drink to so that they can feel comfortable in a social setting, right? So, for example, I used to go to speed dating events. People always bomb themselves out. Here in Taiwan, I might consider going to a speed dating event. It's in July. I guarantee that's not going to be as. In fact, I don't even think it's held in a bar. It's held in a restaurant. But here, people don't feel like they need to do that because there's more mutual understanding. If you make a mistake at an event like that, big deal, right? And just very lightweight attitude. I've come to learn that in the United States, people have very extreme expectations. Everything has to be perfect. So that's why every time I stay in a hostel, I end up getting into a fight. People get very upset. I lived long term in a hostel one time in Phoenix, and the manager, the owner hired a family member to manage the place. And that family member was extremely sensitive about noise. I mean, it's not like I went into the living room to blast Taylor Swift at 3 a.m. No, I never did that. It was I got home a little late, 10:30, and I opened the door a little bit louder than he liked. And he took the job knowing that he would be exposed to noise. They gave him a room that was like connected to the kitchen with only a curtain. I mean, when you take a job like that, either you ask for, some fixes to make sure that noise is not going to be a problem, or you kind of just accepted it, right? It's kind of like taking a job at NASA and then being upset that every time the space shuttle launches, how noisy it is, right? But people just have extremely high expectations. They expect, like at the office, I had a colleague complain that I left a small disaster in the kitchen. What had happened was I'd been waiting for this student forever, and he finally called me, and I kind of just forgot about everything else. I was so excited to get the student back. This kind of problem bothers me a lot. You're waiting for something, you're already very anxious. When it comes, it's like you guys saw. I recently started dating again. How do you handle this? You got a girl who's been ghosting you forever, and when she finally calls you, it's like, oh, and sometimes you mess up the encounter because it's like that's all, the relief is all you can think about, right? It happens at work, it happens with dating life, it happens with earlier today I had a difficulty with my cell phone not working and I was calling customer service when they finally came after what 30-40 minutes of hold time. I'm just messed up because I'm so relieved and excited and it messed me up, right? It happens a lot, right? Or you get the idea, right? I need to get better at that. The relief drama, if you will. I don't know if that's even the right term for that. It always messes me up, right? This is the Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum.